Day 85, Joshua 12 through 15. This is just the word where we're reading chronologically through the Bible in a year. Day 85 of 365, Joshua 12 through 15. These are the kings of the land whom the children of Israel defeated, and whose land they possessed on the other side of the Jordan toward the rising of the sun, from the river Arnon to Mount Hermon, and all the eastern Jordan plain. One king was Shihon, king of the Amorites, who dwelt in Heshbon and ruled half of Gilead, from Aroer, which is on the bank of the river Arnon, from the middle of that river, even as far as the river Jabbok, which is the border of the Ammonites, and the eastern Jordan plain from the sea of Shineroth as far as the sea of the Araba, the Salt Sea, the road to Beth Jeshimoth, and southward below the slopes of Pisgah. The other king was Og, king of Bashan and his territory, who was of the remnant of the giants, who dwelt at Ashtaroth and at Edrei, and reigned over Mount Hermon, over Salcah, over all Bashan, as far as the border of the Geshurites and the Maacathites, and over half of Gilead to the border of the Shihon, king of Heshbon. These Moses, the servant of the Lord, and the children of Israel had conquered. And Moses, the servant of the Lord, had given it as a possession to the Reubenites, the the Gadites, and half the tribe of Manasseh. And these are the kings of the country which Joshua and the children of Israel conquered on this side of the Jordan, on the west from Baal Gad in the valley of Lebanon, as far as Mount Halak, and the ascent to Seir, which Joshua gave to the tribes of Israel as a possession according to their divisions, in the mountain country, and the lowlands, in the Jordan plain, in the slopes, in the wilderness, and in the south, the Hittites and the Amorites, the Canaanites, the Perizzites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. The king of Jericho, 1. The king of Ai, which is beside Bethel, 1. The king of Jerusalem, 1. The king of Hebron, 1. The king of Jarmuth, 1. The king of Lachish, 1. The king of Eglon, 1. The king of Gezer, 1. The king of Deber, 1. The king of Geder, 1. The king of Hormah, 1. The king of Arad, 1. The king of Lebna, 1. The king of Adullam, 1. The king of Makeda, 1. The king of Bethel, 1. The king of Patua, 1. The king of Hefer, 1. The king of Aphek, 1. The king of Lasharon, 1. The king of Madon, 1. The king of Hazar, 1. The king of Shimron, Meron, 1. The king of Akshaph, 1. The king of Taanach, 1. The king of Megiddo, 1. The king of Kadesh, 1. The king of Jokneam in Carmel, 1. The king of Dor in the heights of Dor, 1. The king of the people of Gilgal, 1. The king of Tirzah, 1. All the kings, 31. Chapter 13. Now Joshua was old and advanced in years, and the Lord said to him, You are old, advanced in years, and there remains very much land yet to be possessed. This is the land that yet remains, all the territory of the Philistines, and all that of the Gershurites, from Shihar, which is east of Egypt, as far as the border of Ekron northward, which is counted as Canaanite. The 5 lords of the Philistines, the Guzites, the Ashdodites, the Ashkelonites, the Gittitites, and the Ekronites, also the Avites, from the south and all the land of Canaanites, and Miriam, Maara, that belongs to the Shidonians, as far as Aphek, to the border of the Amorites, the land of the Gibeonites, and all Lebanon towards the sunrise, from Baal Gad below Mount Hermon, as far as the entrance to Hamath, all the inhabitants of the mountains from Lebanon as far as the brook Misrephoth, and all the Sidonians, them I will drive out from before the children of Israel, only divided by lot to Israel as an inheritance, as I have commanded you. Now therefore divide this land as an inheritance to the 9 tribes, and half the tribe of Manasseh. With the other half tribe, the Reubenites and the Gadites received their inheritance, which Moses had given them beyond the Jordan eastward, as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had given them. From Aroer, which is on the bank of the river Arnon, and the town that is in the midst of the ravine, and all the plain of Medeba, as far as Dibon, all the cities of Shihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, as far as the border of the children of Ammon, Gilead, and the border of the Geshurites and the Maacathites, all Mount Hermon, and all Bashan, as far as Salcah, all the kingdom of Og in Bashan, who reigned in Ashtaroth, and Edrei, who remained of the remnants of the giants, for Moses had defeated and cast out these. Nevertheless, the children of Israel did not drive out the Geshurites or the Maacathites, but the Geshurites and the Maacathites dwell among the Israelites until this day. Only to the tribe of Levi he had given no inheritance. The sacrifices of the Lord God of Israel, made by fire, are their inheritance, as he said to them. And Moses had given to the tribe of the children of Reuben an inheritance according to their families. Their territory was from Aroer, which is on the bank of the river Arnon, and the city that is on the midst of the ravine, and all the plain of Medeba, Heshbon, and all its cities that are in the plain, Gibon, Bamoth, Baal, Beth Baal Meon, Jahaza, Kedemoth, Mephaath, Kirjathaim, Sibma, Zereth, Shahar, on the mountain of the valley, Beth Peor, the slopes of Pishgah, the Beth Jishemoth, all the cities of the plain, and all the kingdom of Shihon, king of the Amorites, who reigned in Heshbon, whom Moses had struck with the prince of Midian, Evi, Rekem, Zur, Hur, and Reba, who were princes of Shihon, dwelling in the country. The children of Israel also killed with the sword Balaam, the son of Beor, the soothsayer, among those who were killed by them. And the border of the children of Reuben was the bank of the Jordan. This was the inheritance of the children of Reuben according to their families, the cities and their villages. Moses also had given an inheritance to the tribe of Gad, to the children of Gad according to their families. Their territory was Gezer, and all the cities of Gilead, and half the land of the Ammonites, as far as Aroer, which is before Rabbah, and from Heshbon to Ramoth Zippah, and Bethonim, and from Mahanaim to the border of Debir, and in the valley of Beth Haram, Beth Nimrah, Succoth, and Zaphon. The rest of the kingdom of Shihon, king of Heshbon, with the Jordan as its border, as far as the edge of the sea of Chinnereth, on the other side of the Jordan eastward. This is the inheritance of the children of Gad according to their families, the cities and their villages. Moses also had given an inheritance to half the tribe of Manasseh. It was for half the tribe of the children of Manasseh according to their families. Their territory was from Mahanaim, all Bashan, all the kingdom of Og, king of Bashan, and all the towns of Jair, which are in Bashan, 6 cities, half of Gilead, and Ashtaroth, and Edrei, cities of the kingdom of Og in Bashan, were for the children of Mechar, the son of Manasseh, for half the children of Mechar, according to their families. These are the areas which Moses had distributed as an inheritance in the plains of Moab on the other side of the Jordan by Jericho eastward. But to the tribe of Levi, Moses gave no inheritance. The Lord God of Israel was their inheritance, and as he had said to them. Chapter 14. These are the areas which the children of Israel inherited in the land of Canaan, which Eleazar the priest, Joshua the son of Nun, and the heads of the fathers of the tribes of the children of Israel distributed as an inheritance to them. Their inheritance was by lot, as the Lord had commanded by the hand of Moses, for the 9 tribes and the half tribe. For Moses had given the inheritance of the 2 tribes and the half tribe on the other side of the Jordan, but to the Levites he had given no inheritance among them. For the children of Joseph were 2 tribes, Manasseh and Ephraim, and they gave no part to the Levites in the land, except cities to dwell in with their common land for their livestock and their property. As the Lord had commanded Moses, so the children of Israel did, and they divided the land. Then the children of Judah came to Joshua in Gilgal, and Caleb the son of Zephoneh, the Kenizzite, said to him, "You know the word which the Lord said to Moses, the man of God, concerning you and me in Kadesh Barnea. I was 40 years old, and Moses, the servant of the Lord, sent me from Kadesh Barnea to spy out the land, and I brought back word to him as it was in my heart. Nevertheless, my brethren who went up with me made the heart of the people melt, but I wholly followed the Lord my God." So Moses swore on that day, saying, "Surely the land where your foot has trodden shall be your inheritance, and your children's forever, because you have wholly followed the Lord my God. And now behold, the Lord has kept me alive, as he said, these 45 years, ever since the Lord spoke this word to Moses while Israel wandered in the wilderness. And now here I am this day, 85 years old. Yes, I am as strong this day as on the day that Moses sent me. Just as my strength was then, so now is my strength for war, but for going out and for coming in. Now, therefore, give me this mountain of which the Lord spoke in that day. For you heard in that day how the Anakim were there, and that the cities were great and fortified. It may be that the Lord will be with me, and I shall be able to drive them out as the Lord said. And Joshua blessed him and gave Hebron to Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, as an inheritance. Hebron therefore became the inheritance of Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the Kenizzite, to this day, because he wholly followed the Lord God of Israel. And the name of Hebron formerly was Kirjath Arba. Arba was the greatest man among the Anakim. Then the land had rest from war. Chapter 15. So this was the lot of the tribe of the children of Judah, according to their families. The border of Edom at the wilderness of Zin southward was the extreme southern border, and their southern border began at the shore of the Salt Sea from the bay that faces southward. Then it went out to the southern side of the ascent of Akrabim, passed along to Zin, ascended on the south side of Kadesh Barnea, passing along to Hezron, went up to Adar, and went around to Karka. From there it passed towards Asmon and went out to the brook of Egypt, and the border ended at the sea. This shall be your southern border. The east border was the Salt Sea as far as the mouth of the Jordan, and the border on the northern quarter began at the bay of the sea at the mouth of the Jordan. The border went up to Beth Hoglah and passed north to Beth Araba, and the border went up to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuben. Then the border went up toward Debir from the valley of Achor, and it turned northward toward Gilgal, which is before the ascent of Adumim, which is on the south side of the valley. The border continued toward the waters of En Shemesh and ended at En Rogel. And the border went up by the valley of the son of Hinnom to the southern slope of the Jebusite city, which is Jerusalem. The border went up to the top of the mountain that lies before the valley of Hinnom westward, which is at the end of the valley of Rephaim northward. Then the border went around from the top of the hill to the fountain of the water of Nephtoah, and extended to the cities of Mount Ephron. And the border went around to Baalah, which is Kajarth Jearim. Then the border turned westward from Baal to Mount Seir, passed along the side of Mount Jearim in the north, which is Kesalon, went down to Beth Shemesh and passed on to Timnah. And the border went out to the side of Ekron northward. Then the border went around to Shikron, passed along the Mount Bala, and extended to Jobnael, and the border ended at the sea. The west border was the coastland of the great sea. This is the boundary of the children of Judah, all around according to their families. Now to Caleb the son of Jephunneh, he gave a share among the children of Judah, according to the commandment of the Lord to Joshua, namely Kirjath Arba, which is Hebron. Arba was the father of Anak. Caleb drove out the three sons of Anak from there, Shishaiah, Hyman, and Talmiah, the children of Anak. Then he went up from there to the inhabitants of Debir. Formerly the name of Debir was Karjath Sepher. And Caleb said, he who attacks Karjath Sepher and takes it, to him I will give Aksha, my daughter, as wife. So Onathel, Othniel, the son of Kenaz, the brother of Caleb, took it, and he gave him Aksha, his daughter, as wife. Now it was so, when she came to him, that she persuaded him to ask her father for a field. So she dismounted from her donkey, and Caleb said to her, "What do you wish?" She answered, "Give me a blessing, since you have given me land in the south. Give me also springs of water." So he gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the children of Judah according to their families. The cities at the limits of the tribe of the children of Judah toward the border of Edom in the south were Kabzeel, Eder, Jagur, Kena, Dimonah, Adabda, Kadesh, Hazar, Ithnan, Ziph, Talim, Bealoth, Hazar, Hadatha, Kirioth, Hezron, which is Hazar, Amam, Shema, Moladah, Hazar, Gudda, Heshmon, Beth Peleth, Hazar Sheual, Beersheba, Bizjothjah, Bala, Ejim, Ezim, Eltholad, Chisael, Hormal, Ziglag, Madmannah, Sansannah, Labaoth, Shilhim, Ayin, and Rimnon. All the cities were 29 with their villages. In the lowland, Eshtaol, Zorah, Ashna, Zanoah, En Ganim, Tapua, Enam, Garmuth, Abdullam, Sokoth, Azekah, Shariam, Adithiam, Gedera, and Gederothiam. 14 cities with their villages: Zena, Hadashah, Gildagad, Dilene, Mizpah, Joktheel, Lachish, Bozkath, Eglon, Kabban, Lamash, Kithlish, Gederoth, Beth Dagon, Naamah, and Makkedah. 16 cities with their villages: Libnah, Ether, Ashan, Jiphthah, Ashda, Nezib, Kial, Akzib, and Maresha. 9 cities with their villages: Ekron with its towns and villages. From Ekron to the sea, all that lay near Ashdod with their villages: Ashdod with its towns and villages, Gaza with its towns and villages, as far as the brook of Egypt and the great sea with its coastline. And in the mountain country, Shamir, Gathir, Sokoth, Dana, Kirjath, Shana, which is Debir, Anab, Eshtamoh, Anim, Goshen, Holon, and Gilo. 11 cities with their villages: Arab, Duma, Ishian, Jonum, Beth Tapua, Aphekah, Humtha, Kirjath Arba, which is Hebron, and Zior. 9 cities with their villages: Maon, Carmel, Ziph, Zutha, Jezreel, Jokdeam, Zanoah, Cain, Gibeah, and Timnah, 10 cities with their villages. Halhul, Beth Zur, Gedor, Ma'aroth, Beth Anath, and El Takan, 6 cities with their villages. Kirjath Baal, which is Kirjath Jarim, and Rabbah, 2 cities with their villages. In the wilderness, Beth Araba, Midan, Sikaka, Dibshan, the city of salt, and En Gedi, 6 cities with their villages. As for the Jebusites, the inhabitants of Jerusalem, the children of Judah could not drive them out, but the Jebusites dwell with the children of Judah at Jerusalem to this day. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading of the word. That was Joshua 12 through 15, day 85 of Just the Word.